day in YouTube land. I hope you're doing well. If this video finds you, and yeah, we're up and live and running, and everything is cool. Everything is awesome. And we're ready to get started. So today I'm going to open up Man-at-Arms. I wasn't really sure which one of these I was going to open up because, like I said, I had the two new single-carded figures from this line, the Masters of the Universe movie Origins, the Origins for the 2026 movie. There's the artwork on the back with Idris Elba as Man-at-Arms, and it says, Man-at-Arms, heroic master of weapons. As the former head of the Eternian Royal Guard, Duncan is ready for battle once again, looking to reclaim his glory and free Eternia from the clutches of evil. Now, I've talked at length as I've talked about these figures, and we're going to talk more about it in the next episode when we open up Triclops. But I've talked at length about how this movie seemed to take a lot of aesthetic influence from the 2000X cartoon series. But I also had discussed how I kind of feel like this is one character that I feel like the design was much closer to the Filmation version of Man-at-Arms. We've got the more symmetrical armor, and there's some other similarities. I'm going to get into that because I made sure to bring over with me the cartoon collection version of the Filmation Man-at-Arms. So this is going to be like this is going to be the best figure to do this comparison with, I think. Excuse me, I'm a little phlegmy. I don't know why. And TMNT N4W is here, and he says hi. Hi, right back. Good to see you. It's been a while. So, and of course, like I've been kind of busy and not been able to do as many streams lately. So that's not entirely your fault, not entirely my fault. It just happens. Yeah, he says I'm back after 20 years. It does feel that way, doesn't it? So, and I'll say again how much I like the artwork on these with the exploding red rocks. That's a very Motu kind of thing for me, is those exploding red rocks. And Al Davis is here and says evening to both TMNT and myself. So good evening to you too, sir. So, yeah, but then it's got the movie version of Castle Grayskull in there. That makes it even better because, I love Castle Grayskull. And that was the thing, for those of you who don't know, we're going to tell this story again real quick. That was the thing that actually got me into Masters of the Universe in the first place, was I thought the castle itself was so cool. I saw a cartoon on Saturday, or commercial on Saturday morning when I was watching cartoons, probably Super Friends, because I love Super Friends. And it was the not even the first commercial, it was the second commercial with He-Man fights Beastman in Castle Grayskull. And it's actually the narrator on that commercial is Danny Dark, who did the voice of Superman on Super Friends. And it's kind of funny how he did a lot of those early commercials, and then later on they switched over to Peter Cullen. So you started off with Superman narrating the He-Man commercials, and then we go to Optimus Prime. So we got Superman, we got Optimus Prime, and we got He-Man, which is like three great lawful good type characters. Maybe Captain America could get in there somewhere. I don't know. Maybe Chris Evans could narrate a toy commercial at some point. And TMNT says, I crashed out on a game, so I came here to make me happy. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, hopefully we can get your mind off of that for a little bit, and then you can regroup and go back and kick its ass. I know you can do it. I have faith in you. I have faith in you. So, yeah, let's go ahead and open them up, because I think we talked about the packaging enough. One thing that I think would make this packaging better, and I do like the nice big piece of artwork there, but maybe if we still had like a little bit of some cross-sell down at the bottom, that might be cool. Let's go ahead and open them up. And I definitely want to get into some of this discussion with this. So, one thing about Man-at-Arms in the movie that they just nailed it 100%. And honestly, in this case, I kind of wish they hadn't have nailed it quite as close as the mace looks pretty much exactly like the one that came with the original figure. It's not. You can see it's got a peg on there. So there's one difference right there. But it does look pretty much like the mace that would have come with the original Man-at-Arms. It's just in this kind of gold color rather than the cheddar cheese color. But it's almost a 1-1, isn't it? It's so close. And like I've said before, I kind of feel like the mace that came with the original Man-at-Arms figure was actually a little on the small side. I'd rather they give him a bigger mace. But TMNT says, I've got a great story to tell. Well, yeah, let's hear it. So we can hear it while we open up this action figure. So let's see. I've got he's got rubber tabs around each of his forearms, kind of almost down at the wrist. So let's go ahead and get those off if we can. And those are buried in there nice and deep like. It looks like, I don't think there's not a rubber tab on the right hand. There's one on the left hand. But even then, the one on the left hand, it's so deep in there, I think I might even just be able to pull it through. I don't even think it penetrated all the way through the packaging. At least I can cut it a little easier that way. And then, is there any other rubber tabs on the... I know there's some around the ankles, but it doesn't look like there's one around his waist or his abdomen or his torso or anything like that. And that's good. The less rubber tabs I have to deal with, the better. So go ahead and get these off of here. Like so. And then he comes right out of the package. All right, and there we go. Got an excellent likeness of the actor. Looks just like Idris Elba. I'll say this that I said about these movie figures before is that I do wish it had a removable helmet. I think that would be something that would add to the verisimilitude of it being a movie figure. I think that would be a really cool thing. But none of these have had removable helmets. Honestly, though, I kind of feel like if there was going to be at least one figure in this line that did not have one Man-at-Arms figure in the from the movie that didn't have a removable helmet, I would go with the movie version or the Origins version, since it is supposed to be a little more old school. But I kind of feel like that the Chronicles version probably should come with an alternate head. I think that would have been cool. So I still think that. TMNT says, so I remember back in the day there were sticker books, right? And we had a WWE book, right? And I needed one sticker that my friend had, so I traded it. And then Future DC Warriors here and says, "What's up, Alan? You rock. Thanks, you rock too." Got the same Man-at-Arms too. I agree. I wish I could remove the helmet. You heard the Motu movie. Yeah, like I love the Motu movie, and it's kicking ass on Amazon. So I think we're gonna get that sequel. You know, like I was watching a video by Midnight's Edge and the guy who does Midnight's Edge, the main guy, the guy that counts. I've drawn a blank on his name right now, but you know the guy I'm talking about. He was saying, yes, we probably will see a sequel, but it won't be theatrically released. It will just be go to streaming. And I'm like, fine. I don't really care. I'll stream it. I don't give a shit. I'll buy the DVD if they put it out. Yeah, Future DC Warrior says the Motu movie has been #1 on Amazon for 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, pretty much, almost. I mean, like, there's been like a day or two where it would drop off and something else would pop up to #1. But almost literally for like 2 weeks straight, it's been the #1 movie. So that's pretty phenomenal. That's going to tell Amazon something right there. And what it's going to tell them is there's an audience for a sequel. It's going to happen. I guarantee you, like worst case scenario, we're going to get that She-Ra TV series that they were already developing. We're going to get that. And I bet that's going to be a big hit too. If it's anywhere near as good as the Motu movie was, it's going to do awesome. TMNT says, soon these bigger boys get in the bus and you can tell me where this is going. Uh-oh. Oh, did they take your sticker after you traded it? Oh, jerks. Future DC Warrior says, yeah, Alan, the idiot from Midnight's Edge. Andre, that's his name. I'm embarrassed to share that name. Oh, sorry, man. Hey, you know, like when he's right, he's right. And when he's wrong, he's wrong. And like, I think he was wrong about the Masters of the Universe movie because I loved it. That's all I can say about that. So he does have little holes in his thighs. and you can peg those weapons on there, and that's cool. Because remember in the movie, the mace kind of shrunk down, like it expanded it. Like I saw the little piece on the other figures that looked like a mace, and I'm like, that looks like the mace. I bet that it expands once he takes it off, and sure enough, that's what happened. But this one, it doesn't expand, it doesn't shrink, it doesn't whatever. But it does store on his thigh armor, and that's really cool because usually there's no place to store Man-at-Arms mace when he's not using it, and he's got his blaster too, so we can store that on there. And that one, I don't know how well that blaster is going to work as far as fitting in its hand because it's not really like the standard sort of Masters of the Universe shape. Let's go ahead and try that out real quick. So TMNT says, they look at me and they say, what you got, bro? I ain't got nothing, bro. Let me see, bruh. And I got a sticker. Give me your sticker. And he peels it in front of me. Oh. I hope something very bad happens to him. And then Future GC Warrior says, yeah, did you see Kevin Smith confirmed at Comic-Con that Revelation Season 3 is coming with She-Ra is definitely coming? Hell yes. I'm really excited about that. Like there's been rumors that they would do it as like a comic book, but I've been really hoping that we would get that third season. And I kind of suspect what might happen is we all know that the Masters of the Universe movie is a big hit on Amazon right now for streaming. So what I suspect happened, I could be wrong, but I strongly suspect this is what happened, is that when people finished watching the Masters of the Universe movie, they wanted more. And of course, there's not a sequel yet. But you know, they're kind of like, well, let's see what more He-Man can we watch? And of course, you know, if you look on Amazon, you can watch the original Masters of the Universe cartoon show, and you can watch the 2000X cartoon show. But maybe we can go look on Netflix. And I think didn't they have a He-Man show on Netflix like a couple of years ago? Maybe we can check that out. And I think they probably saw a little bit of a bump, like just carryover from people, or people like me even, where it's like I was really excited after I'd watched the movie in the theater, and I was like, I want to watch more He-Man right now. So so I watched my way through Revelation and Revolution again. But if we get like Redemption or whatever it's going to be called, I forget there was a couple of different theories as to what it might be called, but yeah, if we get that, I'll be super excited. So, and then TMNT says he was like 4 feet tall. It was like 10 feet tall. I was like 4 feet tall. He was 10 feet tall. He's probably taller than me and my two moms put together, bro. Well, that guy is a jerk, and I hope he got his. At some point, something horrible happened to him, and that was karma. That was karmic retribution for him screwing up your sticker. I'm sorry to hear about that, but you know, hopefully you wind up getting the sticker again later. Do you wind up getting the sticker again later? I hope. That would be nice. So here he is with the mace and with the blaster, and you can see he holds both of those just fine. I was a little concerned that since it's more that sort of oblong shape, it's a realistic blaster shape, you see. I was a little concerned that it might not fit in his hand so well, but it actually does fit in his hand pretty well. I'm going to take the accessories out and set them aside, and we're going to kind of break down this figure a little bit. So he's got brown gloves like he had in the movie, and they're kind of fingerless gloves. And that means they had to do like a little bit of extra work where like they had to basically paint his hands 2 shades of brown. It's crazy. Al Davis is here and says he was your Biff. Make like a tree and get out of here. Was Al Davis here before? Yeah, Al Davis was here before. He's just been being quiet. So let's see. And then let's go ahead and break this figure down. So we're going to take the head off. And we can see the head is mostly molded in like a blue plastic. Maybe entirely molded. It looks like just like even the underside of the chin is the blue plastic, but it does look like there's brown plastic for the face. So that means we're not really going to have to worry about like nose rubs or anything like that. So that's good. Al Davis says, I gave away my sticker book because the rest of my stickers got put into flames. Oh, wow. And I said, whatever, bro. Oh, man, that's sad. I'm sorry. That is a very sad story. So, but hey, we survive, right? We've all had our encounters with bullies, haven't we? And the thing is, we stand up to the bullies and we just keep punching, and that's it. So that's all we can do. So I think the trunks underneath here are like the same as the WWE type of trunks, and the thighs are a new sculpt where they've actually got like the armor sculpted onto the thighs, and the shins are new with the shin armor. It looks like it's just the standard upper part of the shin, but the lower part of the shin is with the shin armor on it. And this is another thing where like it's the symmetry that's the main thing. It reminds me of the Filmation, and also the way that these the shin guards are done. Where you see on the Filmation cartoon, they were almost more like the simplified sort of Batman boot kind of looking shin guards, where they're just kind of pointy in the front, not like the very ornate shin guards that the original figure had with like the knee pads and like the studs all over them and the rib texture and everything, but just like I said, a very like a comic book type Batman boot. But this guy, they could have gone a little harder and made it look a little more like the toy, but I don't think they did. I think they kept it fairly simple, again, because I think they were going for the Filmation look specifically with this guy, and that's unusual since, like I said, and we'll talk more at length about this on the next episode when I open up Triclops. Most of this movie had a very 2000X kind of aesthetic to it. So he's got this belt that comes off, and now I'm kind of confused as to which side is the front of the belt, because here's what the belt buckle looks like, and here's what the back of the belt looks like, and it almost looks exactly the same, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it is. I'm pretty sure that the bigger plate goes in the front, and that's how that works. So I'm going to put that back on him right now. And then on his right arm, we have a piece of armor that seems to be like permanently attached. It's like glued on there. Like there's a little tab here where it's glued on. I had to look up. He was 10 feet tall, and I had to look up like, bro, like Biff again. Your sticker got put into the fire. That's just so sad. That's just so sad. Well, he probably peaked in high school, and he's probably a loser now. So, and then he's got the this armor that's sculpted onto the forearm, but on his left arm, where the armor is a little more bulky, that one actually does have a strap that's holding it on, so we can take that off. And then he's got this big old gauntlet over here with the wrist blaster built in. Again, a very Filmation sort of thing. Let's pull his hand off, and then we can take off this armor. We can take all the armor off of this arm. And underneath, we're left with a fairly standard Masters of the Universe arm. It doesn't even have like the fabric texture that this arm has, but you see where like there's some padding there, some quilting sort of going on there. I'll give you a better look. So this arm does not have that. This arm is just a standard upper arm like we see in Masters, and the forearm without the bracer that we see on the WWE figures a lot. And let's go ahead and get the armor back onto it. And it seems like it's a nice snug fit. Sometimes the armor on these guys kind of slides around a little too much, but this seems like it's going to stay on them fairly well. And I do love this gauntlet. I think that this is really cool. And I love that when they give us things like bracers that can be removed, and I can take that and put that on other figures if I want to do customs and stuff. So that's awesome. So go ahead and get his hand back in there, and then we can get Duncan all put back together and get on to talking about the articulation. Now, one thing, and this is like the first Man-at-Arms figure that I've opened after I've seen the movie, I can talk about this. One thing that actually kind of irritated me in the movie, and this is just a nitpick. Don't think I'm making a harsh criticism here when I say this. But this is just a nitpick. This is just something where I'm like, did they really have to do that? Is they took the little canister in the front of Man-at-Arms armor, the little tube, and they made it into a flask. So then after the movie, when I was going to show my mom a couple episodes of the cartoon, she's like, "Oh, look, there's his flask." Ah, so now forever, that's what that's going to be. Al Davis says, which actor has the most figures based on them? Idris, between Marvel, DC, Motu, Star Trek, Samuel L. Jackson, Marvel and Star Wars, or Carl Urban, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, Dread, Marvel, and The Boys. Well, I guess that depends. Because, like, Idris, I think, only had one figure made of Bloodsport. I want to say that there was the McFarlane Bloodsport figure, and that was the only one. And Masters of the Universe, he's had so many figures made for Masters of the Universe. And you know what? I might say that Idris might have the most, the second most. I think Samuel L. Jackson probably has the most, just because they've probably made so many Mace Windu figures at this point. Like, if you're talking characters that have been made into figures, then Carl Urban will probably win. But if you're talking like the actual amount of figures, I think they've probably made more Mace Windu figures than Idris and Carl Urban's characters combined. Like, there's been so many Mace Windu figures, and then there's been like lots of Nick Fury figures, obviously. So, and I've opened up one of them on this channel, which was the Secret Invasion Nick Fury. Very cool figure. Very cool figure. I know a lot of people didn't like the Secret Invasion series. I never actually saw it, so I couldn't say. But the figure itself was awesome. Oh, you know what I forgot to do while I had him taken apart was I forgot to take off the breastplate. Silly me. Okay, well, we can still take off the breastplate even with the arms back on, I think, because there's two little tabs under here, and it kind of sandwiches over them. And we can get a look at this underneath, where we've got some of that quilting over the tummy. Very much like what we saw with the Chronicles figure, but obviously this one has a little more muscle tone to it since it's an origin style figure. But it's very much in line with that, kind of almost like a bibbed front. You could probably do a pretty decent Rio Blast custom out of this, I think, if you wanted to. If there wasn't already a really awesome Rio Blast figure. So we can go ahead and put the breastplate back onto him. I do wish that they'd made the I don't know what you call this thing, this little gorget here. I do wish they'd made that a little bigger if I'm gonna armchair quarterback the costuming designs in this movie. But even then, I think it's fine like this. It would have been cool if they did like a 2000X thing where it would kind of expand and come up and cover his face. I think that would have been awesome. But oh well, it's still a really cool suit. And like I said, we can see them side by side now. Very similar to the Filmation look in a lot of ways with the symmetry and the type of boots. The main difference is the Filmation one still had the furry shorts. And like I've pointed out before, it seems like they just tried to get rid of as much fur as they could on these suits. So yeah, there's no fur on our movie Man-at-Arms whatsoever. Al Davis is Ian McKellen, Lord of the Rings, Marvel, the Phantom, Last Action Hero. It was The Shadow. He was in The Shadow. That was the one he was in. I don't blame you for mixing those up. I've said before that the Phantom and The Shadow and The Rocketeer, that's like a perfect triple feature right there. But yeah, he was in The Shadow. He was Margot Lane's father. So that was, I think, one of the first movies he was in. Because like he'd had a long career as like a stage actor and done a lot of television, but like I don't think that he'd done that many movies like up until that point. I want to say like Scandal was his first movie. I mean, he might have done like some other little small part, but that was like the first movie of like his proper movie career. You know what I mean? Was he was in Scandal, and he played like this dude who was like, as he put it, a raging heterosexual. Because he didn't want to get typecast. He was openly gay even at that time. I think he was always openly gay. He never hid it, I don't think. But he was like, I don't want to get typecast as just playing gay parts because I can do other kinds of parts. So he purposely took a character that was just like kind of like this horn dog ladies man just to show he could do it, just to show he did have that capability. And then of course, like for me, I saw him in like a lot of things, like you know, little. He was in The Keep, right? He was in that one. But again, like that was just kind of one of those things where like, he just did a movie like here and there. But when he seriously started to do movies, I think Scandal was like his first one. And then he was in Gods and Monsters, and I freaking loved him in that because you know I'm a big Universal Monsters fan as it is. So I was all about. Oh, they're making a movie about James Whale? Hell yeah, I'm gonna watch the hell out of that. TMNT says my neck felt broken when I looked. I'm so sorry, man. This is so traumatic. I just want to put a blanket around you and give you like a cup of cocoa or something. There, Slugger. It's gonna be okay. But yeah, like and Chris Evans between Marvel, Fox, The Losers, Scott Pilgrim too. Well, did they do any figures for The Losers or Scott Pilgrim? I don't remember. I do know that you know he's had plenty of figures of Captain America and the Human Torch. So you know he'd be another one who had a lot of action figures made on him. So you know, speaking of the Universal Monsters, going back to that for a minute. The NECA recently showed off their Son of Frankenstein figure. Boris Karloff is the monster in Son of Frankenstein with like the furry vest. And that's one that I'd really wanted to have for a while. So I'm really excited about that. But me and Rue were talking about it and we're like, dude, you know, that's one we've been talking about for a long time is they should do Son of Frankenstein. And then we were both like, dude, they got to do Igor. We got to get Igor. We got to get Bela Lugosi as Igor. You know, Bela is the guy who's got a lot of figures made of him. And obviously, like 99% of them are Dracula. I think there was like one like reaction figure of Igor, but that was it. That was all we got. And then Sideshow did like a figure of Bela from White Zombie. And I have that one. That's one of the few Sideshow figures I had because that's one from like back when they were actually affordable. But yeah, that White Zombie figure is really cool. I really like that one. So let's go ahead and talk about his articulation some because I haven't talked about that yet. So Man at Arms can look up about that far, look down about that far, tilt his head kind of quizzically side to side, rotate the head all the way around. Of course, the arms rotate all the way around the shoulders. I'm going to take the accessories out of his hands because I don't want to drop them. And then his arms can raise up to the sides about that far. There is this armor on here, like I said, but you know it doesn't really get in the way too much. And you can kind of pull it over and layer it over the breastplate, so that works out just fine. And then he's got a single joint of articulation at the elbow that rotates all the way around, and it bends, straightens out, bends about that far. It's the same on both hands or both arms. I think this one probably maybe works a little better just because it doesn't have that big old clunky gauntlet getting in the way, I think. Al Davis says, I love the Universal Monsters and have since I was a little child. Yes, me too. You know, like, I don't know if you had these across the pond over there, but look up the Crestwood House monster books. They're like these little orange, black and white monster books. Like the covers were black and white with orange on the text and on the back. And so I always call them the orange monster books. And I checked those out of my school library all the time. And that was what got me hooked. And that was where I learned the names of all these actors. Bela Lugosi and Lon Chaney Jr. and Lon Chaney Sr., Boris Karloff, Christopher Lee. And there's that guy from Star Wars that played Governor Tarkin. It looks like he was in a Dracula movie or two. That's pretty awesome. Oh, he played Baron Frankenstein. This guy's so cool. And eventually Peter Cushing would become my number one favorite actor of all time. So, yeah, like, these are removable. Oh my God, I didn't realize that. I was just kind of messing around with it. So they kind of clip onto his shins there. So that's pretty cool. Wow. So now you can use these for other things. You can clip these onto other characters' legs. Like if you want to do a custom of a New Adventures He-Man, and I already did a custom of New Adventures He-Man, made them out of bow. But these would probably be really good shin guards for like a custom New Adventures He-Man too. I think those would work out really well for that. Man, so those are removable. I could have sworn these were like the same part, and then I'm just kind of messing around with it. And I'm like, it seems like it's kind of loose, and I'm just trying to see like how it's glued on. No, it's not glued on. It's a separate piece. That's awesome. I love that. Okay, that's really cool. So then Man-at-Arms twists all the way around the waist, and he can kick up about that far, which is not very far, but that's par for course as far as the Origins figures. Only kick back that far. That's him doing a split. That's how far we can move him there. And then he's got a single joint of articulation at the knee, bends about that far, rotates all the way around, but at a bit of an angle. And then he's got a boot cut. So the boot rotates all the way around, and his foot can point down about that far. His foot can point up about that far. And then that rotates all the way around. But then that's going to bump into that shin guard again, isn't it? So yeah. So that's pretty much it for Man-at-Arms, I think. This is a spectacular figure. Great likeness of the actor. Looks just like Idris Elba. I'm very impressed with the likenesses on all of these figures, but I do think that this is the best likeness that I've seen on the Origins figures so far. Ram Man had a good likeness, and He-Man's was decent enough. I kind of feel like maybe that Nicholas Galitzine head sculpt, like with the they're all pretty much the same head sculpt. But like with the Chronicles one, I kind of feel like that they nailed it. That looks exactly like him, but it doesn't look quite as much like him on the Origins figure, and I think that's because it doesn't have like quite as good of a paint detail to it. TMNT says, have you seen Scream? I saw the original Scream. I haven't seen the latest Scream. The last Scream I saw was Scream 3. I'm trying to show you how long ago that was. But I hear Jenna Ortega is in some of the newer ones, so maybe I might want to watch them. I don't know. Yeah, Jenna Ortega. I might want to watch that. I don't know. Future DC Warrior says, Alan, do you know when the Allison Brie Evelyn is coming out? Why so long to release it? You know, I have no idea. And I know that they're doing for the core line, for the kids core line. I know they're doing one for that. And that's where I'm kind of like, I don't really need necessarily an Origins figure if they're going to do a core figure, because the women are the same size as an Origins female figure. So like I have the single carded Tila, and I feel like she fits in just perfectly with the Origins figure. So I don't really need an Origin. I'll still buy the Origins Tila, obviously, but I don't really need one. You know what I mean? So when they do put out that core line figure, I'm definitely going to get that to go with my Origins figures. I think that'll fit in perfectly. I do know that on Big Bad Toy Store, I actually have the Chronicles Evelyn pre-ordered. So real quick, I'll look that up and see when what the date is on that, at least for Big Bad Toy Store. That'll at least give you a ballpark. It's not always 100% accurate. Sometimes they get that pre-order stuff a little early. Sometimes they get a little later. But we're gonna check it right now. And yeah, I'm like my pile of loot still have not gotten my Red Sonja and my Conan figure that were supposed to get here in late June and then July and now August. And I guess eventually it allegedly will show up. Let's see. Let's order history. That's not what I want. I want pre-orders. I hit the wrong button. Okay, so Red Sonja says arrival August. Conan says arrival August. Yeah, it says that Chronicles Evelyn figure is supposed to come out in September. So next month. Not much longer. So, and then what else did I have pre-ordered? I had the Conan and Red Sonja that I'd already mentioned. I've got the re-release of the McFarlane Classic Wonder Woman. That's the Angela White Wonder Woman. I think she looks like Angela. I ain't complaining. Angela White could be my Wonder Woman. They got the Operation Monster Force Dark Directives Red Reaper. That's the Grim Reaper from the G.I. Joe cover, but they don't want to say that for legal reasons. You got the Savage World of Frazetta Egyptian Queen, and I pre-ordered 2 of those. And that's an expensive figure, but I pre-ordered 2 of those anyway. And then more Immortal Champions, the Fell Necromancer, who's like a cute little blue gothy looking girl. And Immortal Champions Thulsa Doom, based on Robert E. Howard's version of Thulsa Doom, where he was a skull-faced sorcerer, not the James Earl Jones version, unfortunately. But I mean, it's still pretty cool. I mean, I still want it. Yeah, TMNT says she's in Scream 5 and 6, not 7. Well, doesn't Nev Campbell come back for part 7? Maybe they figured that was just like too much hotness for one movie. I don't know. You know, I like my Canadian women. I'm just saying. Future DC Warrior says, yeah, I have 2 Nicholas Galitzine He-Man figures. One looks exactly like him, and the one looks slightly kind of like him. I don't know why they made him look slightly different. I don't know. From what I understand on the Chronicles figure, there was a running change. And I know I have another one of these that I haven't taken out of the box yet. So I haven't really compared their face sculpts at all. I think they both look like him, which is weird. Like, I don't know what the difference is. It just seems kind of subtle. I can tell there's a difference there, but I'd have to really sit down with the actual figures and look at them and figure out what the difference is. But to me, they both look like the guy from the movie. Maybe one's more like him than the other one. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with his face yet. I've only seen the movie like 5 times. So I got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket. Anyway, I think that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure that you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment and let me know what you think about Man-at-Arms. You know, considering how I have like loincloth pieces that I can put on this character, I might try putting like a Thundercats He-Man loincloth on this guy and seeing what it looks like. That might be an interesting thing to see. And then Future DC Warrior says, yeah, it's a subtle difference. Are they coming out with a Motu Core movie 6-inch? They are coming out with the kids core version. I know I saw that. But let me look and see maybe if we'll just look up Evil. While I'm on Big Bad Toy Store, we might as well look. Evil Lynn. So let's see. They got the 1987 movie figure on sale for $16.79 still, and that's a great figure if you don't have it. They've got 10% off the Filmation cartoon collection. They've got the regular cartoon collection for $21.99. The Masterverse version, the new Eternia version, is $23.99. That's a great figure. You can get the Revelation version for $12.64. And the Darklyn, which of course I really like, for $31.99. Ooh, the Sorceress version, her in that bat outfit. I don't have that one yet. I should get that. And from that Netflix kids show, and it looks like, yeah, there's the Chronicles figure again. You can still get that pre-order. So if you don't have that pre-ordered and you're interested, it does not look like they have that one available yet to pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store. But let's maybe I might can find one somewhere else. We'll just Google it real quick. Evelyn, let's put kids core figure, because now I'm curious about it. That's how this works a lot of the times. You guys will ask me a question and be like, hey, do you know? And I just don't know the answer because I'm a fairly knowledgeable guy, but I don't know everything. So yeah, I have to look stuff. You'll ask me a question and I don't know the answer, and then I get curious and have to look it up myself. I know that I saw there was one coming out, but I don't know when it's coming out. And let's see. And considering how it's a movie line, and a lot of the times the movie line characters are like they're a little more they're a little less well distributed, I guess I should say. They're not quite as well distributed as the earlier figures in the line. I would say keep an eye out for when she might go on pre-order on one of your favorite online retailers. Like I said, I like Big Bad Toy Store, but I've also used, GameStop and Entertainment Earth. Really, wherever I can get the figure that I want from, I will use it. But I tend to go to Big Bad Toy Store first because I like their pile of loot option. I really like that. Oh yeah, and they've got the Tila with her hair up. So let's see. This one says she's here already. Some person on Instagram. I hate it when I try to open something in Instagram and it just opens up Instagram. Well, this is just the video of her opening up the Chronicles figure, so I don't think that's what I'm looking for either. It had a picture of the core Tila with her hair up, and that was why I was thinking that might give me a clue. But I guess not. Alas and alack. But I would like to get that core Tila with the hair up. I think that looks really nice. And let's see if I can get that to focus. Yeah, it's gonna wash out the screen. You can find it yourself, but yeah, she looks good with the hair up. I like that. A lot of people were complaining about the figure with the hair down, but I like that too. I thought that looked nice. So, oh well, whatever. What are you gonna do? So yeah, I think that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure that you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment what you think about this figure. Oh, I forgot to mention, he does have little jetpack doohickeys in the back. Which, you know what I say, jetpacks always make everything better. So the best action figure you ever saw would be 5 times better if it had a jetpack. I'm just saying, jetpacks are awesome. So that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, leave a comment, blah, blah, blah. YouTube likes it when I say like and subscribe, so I like to say like and subscribe. I like it when you leave comments, so I always tell you to leave comments. If you're watching this in the replay, let me know what your favorite Man-at-Arms figure is in the replay. I'll be interested in hearing that. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Talk to you next time. Bye.